And Brad, you're hinting at where I want to go about the broader overhang on the stock has been some of the concerns about regulation. There were frustrations perhaps that maybe, as I'm comparing big tech, Bezos didn't do as good of a job as Tim Cook, for example, at Apple, at wooing the last White House. Where does this now leave Amazon at setting up relationships with the White House, taking on some of the big tech antitrust that is coming their way?
Right. Well, I mean, and this is an interesting question because I think maybe what we saw in the subcommittee hearing over the summer where Jeff Bezos dialed in is, this isn't part of the job he probably liked, and it'll be an increasing part of the job going forward for all the tech CEOs. So now he hands that off. They tried to get out of Bezos testifying at the House hearing. And you mentioned the former president's relationship with Amazon, and that was complicated by the fact that Jeff owns a newspaper. So maybe it just became sort of untenable, as these portions of his life and his holdings kind of collided with them, that he saw that maybe, he doesn't want to be the most visible person at Amazon when it comes to answering some of the questions that the government and governments, plural, because Europe is involved now too, are going to have for the company.
And now who does become the more visible? And it's Andy Jassy. I'm just looking at his Twitter page at the moment. He has but 50,000 followers, but they're slowly ticking up, Brad. Manages Amazon Web Services, married and father of 2 kids, big sports, music, film fan, experienced buffalo wings eater, apparently. Anything else you can tell us about him? What do you know of Andy Jassy?
Yeah, well, so he's a longtime Amazon guy. He joined in the late 90s, right from business school at Harvard. He's got kind of Amazon DNA through and through. He was the first shadow to Jeff Bezos. They call it the technical assistant now. And, so that means he followed Bezos around for basically 2 years. And he became a student. A lot of, I've talked to Andy Jassy a number of times. I did for my new book. You hear it in what he says and how he comports himself. He's got that kind of, Bezos methodology. But he's really become an innovator in his own right, and AWS, continues to lead the cloud computing arena in large part because, Jassy is he's got that same customer focus, kind of attitude as Bezos, and he's extremely competitive, and he's kept AWS at the forefront. So I think that's the obvious choice, particularly with Jeff Wilke resigning. He was kind of his counterpart on the retail side. Wilke stepped back this year, and I think this is his last month at the company, so it's now Andy Jassy's company.